My name is Miss Joyce, and I am the Youth Services Program Coordinator at Collinsville Community Library, which is part of York County Libraries. For today's Book Bites, I will be reading two different books from two different authors that are part of a series. The first one is written by Henry Winkler and Lynn Oliver, published by the Penguin Group, and this title is it's from the Hank Zipser series, The World's Greatest Underachiever, Niagara Falls or Does It? And then I also will be reading the I Survived series by Lauren Tarish, published by Scholastic, and this one's I Survived the American Revolution, 1776. So I'll begin with the Hank Zipser series, Niagara Falls or Does It? Chapter 1. It started to buzz. I looked up. The loudspeaker above the door crackled and buzzed again. Then it started to shake. It was coming alive. Hank Zipser, the loudspeaker said, report to Principal Love's office at once. I put my hands over my ears and slid down in my chair. How did it know my name? It was only the first hour of the first day of school, and already my name was coming out of that box on the wall. Everyone in class stared at me. Some kids giggled. A few of them whispered, but not Nick McKelty. Nope. He cupped his hands over his big mouth and shouted, "Way to go, Zipper boy!" My teacher, Miss Adolph, shot me a really nasty look. Show no fear, I thought. Walk the walk. I stood up and strutted to the door like Shaquille O'Neal, taking center court. Okay, so I wear a size 4 shoe and he wears a 23. It's the attitude that counts. I'm long on attitude. Short on shoe, but long on attitude. When I reached the door, I turned to my best friend, Frankie Townsend. If I don't come back, I told him, you can have my protractor. Don't forget to breathe in there, Frankie whispered. Remember, Zip, oxygen is power. Frankie is very big on oxygen. When I'm nervous, he always tells me to take some deep breaths. He learned that from his mom, who is a yoga teacher. She's really good at yoga. In fact, she's not good, she's great. She's so flexible, she can lift up her leg and put a foot in her pocket. Even though I was going to the principal's office, I was determined to leave with style. My head held high. I flashed the class my best smile, the one where I show both my top and bottom teeth. Then in the middle of maybe the greatest exit ever, the loudspeaker buzzed again. And don't you dare stop in the bathroom, young man, it said. Now how did it know I was going to do that? Everyone laughed as I left. No laughing in class, Miss Adolph shouted, banging on her desk with this pointer stick she has. That's one of her rules. Miss Adolph doesn't believe in laughing. She thinks 4th graders laugh way too much. There are 2 4th grade teachers in my school. One is named Mr. Cecilium, and he's really nice. He plays soccer with everyone at recess and never gives homework on the weekends. The other is Miss Adolph. She doesn't play any games and gives 2 tons of homework, even on the weekends. My luck, I got Miss Adolph. I could practically hear my heart pounding as I walked down the hall. Principal Love has a way of making you nervous, especially when you don't know what you've done wrong. I was trying not to think about him, so I looked at all the welcome back decorations in the hall instead. The halls of my school are painted yuck green. You know, the color of melted pistachio ice cream, but the decorations really helped cheer things up. I liked Miss Hart's door, which had an underwater theme, and all the 5th graders in her class had pasted pictures of their faces onto octopus heads. Mr. Sicilian was my favorite. All the kids' heads were soccer balls. I told you he was cool. When I reached the stairs, I thought about sliding down the banister, but I was already in enough trouble, so I took the steps 2 at a time. My mouth was dry when I got to the bottom, so I stopped at the water fountain to get a drink. Just as I took the first swallow, the loudspeaker buzzed again. I'm waiting, Mr. Zipser, it said. Principal Love has a kind of voice that sounds like it belongs to a really tall man with a lot of bushy black hair, but actually Principal Love is short, bald, and except for a little fringe of red hair. I ran down the hall. I couldn't get in trouble for running the halls if the place I was running to was the principal's office, right? When I got to the office, I took a deep breath. I looked up at the sign above the door. Leland Love Principal. It said I had been here before many times. Too many times. Way too many times. Slowly, I pushed open the door and I walked inside and came face to face with the 5 of them. Nope, not people. There was only one person there. I'm talking about things. The things on Principal Love's face. 2 eyes, 2 ears, and 1 mole on his cheek that looked like the Statue of Liberty without the torch. I don't know if it's possible for a mole to frown, but trust me, this one did not look happy. Approach me, young man, Principal Love said. I wanted to, I really did, but my feet were stuck on his carpet. It was as if I had big wads of gum stuck to the soles of my shoes. Were you or were you not tardy today? Principal Love asked. I didn't answer because I found that when Leland Love asks a question, he likes to answer it himself. You were 17 minutes late, he said. See what I mean? Did we not have this talk 30 times in 3rd grade, 15 times in 2nd grade, and I won't even refer to 1st grade? Principal Love's face twitched. It looked like the Statue of Liberty was doing a hula dance. I tried not to laugh. That would have gotten me into even bigger trouble. We had this talk many times, he answered himself. See, he did it again. I looked down at my feet, mostly to keep from staring at the Statue of Liberty mole. Once you focus on that thing, it's really hard to take your eyes off of it. I noticed that I had put on 2 different socks again. One had a Nike swoosh and the other was just your basic Walmart sock. If there's one thing I want you to learn from your experience at PS 87 is this. Principal Love was using his bushy-haired, tall man voice. Are you listening, young man? I got both ears working, sir. Actually, I was listening. I really was curious to hear the single most important thing I was supposed to learn in my whole entire elementary school career. Principal Love cleared his throat. Always be on time when time is involved, he said. Wow, there it was. Now, if I could just figure out what it meant. Explain to me how it's possible that you were late on the very first day of school, he said. Okay, I'll be honest with you. I'm late a lot, but I don't mean to be. In fact, I try really hard to have everything ready on time. My pencils are all sharpened, my 3 ballpoint pens ready to roll, a protractor, a ruler, and a compass in my pencil case. But this morning I had a problem. I'm pretty sure I remember putting my backpack on my desk chair before I went to bed, but somehow, and I don't have an exact reason for this, my backpack played hide and seek during the night, and this morning it took me 20 minutes to find it. It was in the coat closet by the front door. But try telling that to Leland Love. I'm waiting for an answer, said Principal Love. And all that squeaked out of me was, can't explain it, sir. Well then, absorb this, he said, because I'm only going to say it once. Punctuality and the 4th grade go hand in hand. He paused, then said it again, just like I knew he would. Punctuality and the 4th grade go hand in hand. I'm not sure, but I think the Statue of Liberty on his face nodded in agreement. If you want to read more of Hank Zipser's series, you can find this book series in Access 360 and find out what happens to Hank. For the I Survive series, you can also find this on Access 360 and Hoopla. Chapter 1. I Survived the American Revolution, 1776. August 29th, 1776, Brooklyn, New York. Nathaniel Fox was too young to be fighting the Revolutionary War. He was only 11 years old, but here he was on a blood-soaked battlefield in Brooklyn, New York. Thousands of British soldiers were on the attack, and Nate was sure that he was about to die. Gunfire crackled through the air. Crack! Cannon blasts shook the ground. Kaboom! Already, one of Nate's friends was lying dead in the dirt, shot through the heart, and now Nate was running for his life. He tore through the thick forest, dodging trees and stumbling over rocks. His mind swirled with fear. Blood pounded in his ears, and then came an even more terrifying sound, heavy footsteps right behind him. Nate whipped his head around in panic. Over his shoulder, he saw an enormous soldier chasing after him. The man's musket was aimed at Nate's back. Attached to the gun's tip was a killing sword, a bayonet. Nate ran faster, desperate to escape, but he could hear the man's pounding steps and his grunting breaths. "I'm not a soldier!" Nate wanted to scream, but it was too late. The man was closing in. Closer, closer, closer. Nate braced himself for the killing stab. He was sure this was the end. And then came an ear-shattering blast. Boom! Nate saw flames, a blinding light, and then the world went black. If you want to know what happened to Nate, you gotta check out I Survived, The American Revolution 1776 by Lauren Tarish on Access 360 or a Hoopla, and you can find other series of I Survived. Thank you for joining me today. Thinking about what you can do before the library reopens. Check out our website, www.yorklibraries.org, under What Can I Do? and select for kids. Check out the Pennsylvania Young Readers' Choice books and vote on your favorite one. If you haven't already heard, SummerQuest has begun, and there are many programs, activities that are taking place in all 13 libraries in York County. And don't forget to try a different book like I Survived and Hank Zipser's series. And so try a taste of a different book each week during SummerQuest.